Thank you for that. Thank you for that introduction, and we're going to switch now and talk about lithium rather than uranium. But we are going to stick to a similar area. So one of our major projects is in Saskatchewan, and those last presenters were talking about the Athabasca Basin, and that is in Saskatchewan. That's way north, and we're way south on the US border, but very interesting hookup. The mission for Arizona Lithium is effectively to become the world's first oil field brine producer, and I'll explain that further. But it's a new area for lithium production, and it's something that we're very excited about, and we're going to lead that change in the industry. We are an ASX listed company, and we're also listed on the OTCQB. We have a market capitalisation of $100 million, and we have $22 million in the bank at the moment. The reason why we have that sort of market capitalisation, which has come down significantly as the lithium commodity price reduced last year, you will note that that's starting to move back up, and I'll let people like Mr. Lithium, Joe Lowry, talk about forecasts in the future. I won't go near that, but I will try to tell you about our projects that we have in Arizona Lithium today. The two projects are the Prairie Lithium project, and that's, as I mentioned, is in Saskatchewan, Canada. It's a lithium brine project, a large land holding of 390,000 acres, and it has a very large resource on that project. The reason why we can have such a large resource on that project is because it's an oil and gas producing region, a very historic 60 to 70 years of oil and gas production in that area. So there's a lot of reference points from oil wells that have been drilled in that area. That will be a massive advantage as we develop these projects up, particularly the Prairie project, because all the environmental applications, the pumping of the material back in the ground has been done by all the oil and gas people. In addition, we have all the infrastructure we need to put this project into production. We have rail lines, we have gas, we have labour, skilled labour that's used to doing oil and gas work. We're doing something very similar. So we're very excited to be just north of the US border. Our other project is the Big Sandy project, and that is in Arizona, hence the name of the company, Arizona Lithium. And we've been working that project for about 8 years now. It's a sedimentary project. It has a lot of similarities to Lithium America's Thacker Pass project that recently attracted a $2.9 billion loan from the Department of Energy in the US. This is a large project, and we will continue to develop that project. We're just waiting on some drilling approvals, and we have a plan in place. But our short-term focus is definitely on the Prairie project and the ability of lithium brines in oil fields to produce a good quality lithium at a very good cost of production. So let's skip the slides in regards to the demand and supply for lithium. I think a lot of people in this room would understand that the EV revolution is growing rapidly. I spend a lot of time in North America, and EVs are massive in Phoenix, Arizona, and other parts of California, Nevada, etc. There is no doubt that lithium is not going away. This slide just shows basically we're operating in North America, and there are so many cell producers that are planned or have commenced construction, and they have very little supplies of lithium and other battery commodities. I think the sentiment for lithium has come off or reduced significantly. I think that's a bit overdone by the retail market, and we are seeing people in the industry very interested in our projects because the demand for lithium and batteries is massive, and the future is very bright for lithium. So, as I mentioned, we are in Canada, in the province of Saskatchewan. It's a very exciting area to be in, oil and gas producing region, and as you heard from previous presenters, very much in the uranium spotlight at the moment. So permitting of that project is very efficient as compared to the US, where we're down in Arizona. the Biden administration is not exactly pro-mining at the moment. So we have pivoted to our Prairie project, and we've gone to an area where we are getting a lot of government assistance and a lot of cooperation in regards to permitting. So in detail, the 6.3 million tonnes of lithium carbonate at the Prairie project sits in an area where you're about 2,400 metres below surface. The oil and gas has been extracted from a horizon above that, and we are going deeper than the oil and gas people. I was out at site about 6 weeks ago on the first pad that we've cleared, and in every direction that I looked, I saw oil and gas facilities, either drilling operations or production assets. So again, as I mentioned, there's all the infrastructure we need to put this into production. All the stakeholders understand what we're doing, and the farmers are cooperative and everyone's cooperative. They basically want to replace their oil and gas revenues with lithium revenues, and this is an area that does hold a huge amount of lithium. The 6.3 million tonnes, you put that into perspective, the demand for lithium last year was about 1 million tonnes. So we still haven't drilled this project out, and we will put this into production and then find more resource. This slide basically just talks about the quality of our resource, and that is because we had so many reference points from previous drilling of oil and gas wells. We don't see a lot of risk in the resource, and then we have to look at how we're going to produce this material. Again, we talk about how continuous this resource is, how consistent the resource is. We're very happy with the resource. So how do we monetize this resource? We want to use what's called direct lithium extraction. It's a method of filtering the lithium brine. So brine is just basically salty water that comes from that aquifer 2,400 metres down. We bring it to surface, we pass it through the filter, which we call direct lithium extraction, and we then send the material back down a saltwater disposal well. So it's sort of circular in nature, but the benefit of direct lithium extraction to a project like this is twofold. One, it increases the grade of your lithium, but also it purifies the lithium. It rejects all the impurities, and those impurities cause issues for further downstream processing. So we have tested our lithium and put a pilot plant into production more recently, and we haven't announced those final results. We are about to, and this slide shows that pad that I was standing on. This project is so advanced that we've cut the first pad in, and we'll be commencing drilling in late May, early June to start production from this project. I've got a little slide here about direct lithium extraction. If we just go through that, and I can tell you how simple this process really is and how it will change the lithium industry forever. On the left there you have the production wells and the saltwater disposal wells. They're just basically big commercial water wells where you're extracting large volumes of water. And then we go to the DLE facility in the middle there, and that's what I've talked about previously in regards to filtering the material. We then upgrade that material. It then goes to a CFRO facility where it's upgraded further. And then the final stage is where we add soda ash, and we do use a bit of energy at that stage, and we produce a lithium carbonate to commercial grade quantity. So for example, this schematic will be at every wellhead that you saw from the previous slide. So this project will be implemented on a modular basis. Each wellhead will produce about 2,000 tonnes of LCE per annum, and we will be commencing the production from that wellhead in 2025. We want to be the first company to produce from a lithium brine in an oil field, and we have a very bit of competition from a very large company called ExxonMobil, and they have acquired 110 300,000 acres. We have 390,000 acres, but they have it in the Smackover Formation in Arkansas in the US. They'll be utilising existing infrastructure, and they are going hard at the lithium brine industry in North America. North America doesn't have a lot of production of lithium, and it's a concern of the Biden administration, and I'm sure it will be the concern of the next administration, be at either Biden or Trump. And we are well positioned to obtain government funding. Even though we're in Canada, we will still receive US government assistance for putting this project into production. So that is as simple as lithium brine production from an oil field can be. And as soon as someone commercially applies this technology, you will find that there will be a massive increase in companies that are in this space. There's a few on the ASX, there's a few listed in the US, mainly around the Smackover Formation in Arkansas, and I wouldn't even be surprised if there's a little bit of M&A activity in this space in the future as the other oil and gas companies start to enter this industry. And it's very obvious why they're entering the industry. As a hydrocarbon producer, you are pumping a lot of material to surface, you're filtering that material and you're re-injecting. So for example, they are extracting the gas and the oil from that brine material. We will be extracting the lithium from that material from a different formation. So all the experience that someone like ExxonMobil has in regards to what they do can be applied to the lithium brine industry from an oil field. So it's not just Exxon, it's Occidental, a large number of other companies that we're talking to. All those big oil and gas US majors are looking at this space. So very exciting time for us to be in this space, and we want to advance this project as quick as possible and get into production. This slide shows you a little bit of what I've previously discussed in regards to how we're going to produce our first lithium carbonate. The first module consists of 3 separate pads, and yes, there is a lot of drilling, but there's a lot of experienced contractors in this area, and we will commence that drilling late May and go through for the balance of the year drilling production wells and saltwater disposal wells. This is basically a picture of, thank you, the pilot plant production that we had at the operation in Regina. So we produced 20,000 litres of lithium brine, and we put that through the filtration system to increase the concentration of lithium and also to reject the impurities. And the results from that testing were far beyond our expectations. So we're very excited about that, and we're very excited to put that into commercial scale production next year. I won't talk too much now about our PFS. That's a public document. We put that out at the end of the year. We are going straight from a PFS into production, and we will be doing that next year. This is about the financial sensitivities. This is a very profitable operation of producing lithium from direct lithium extraction. There is no doubt about the fact that we would sit in the bottom quartile of cost producers for lithium in the industry, and that's where you want to be for any commodity. So we're very happy to be in that place. Okay. I'll really quickly touch on the Big Sandy if I've got, no. We can talk about the Big Sandy later. If you want to come back to and have further discussion, I'm just near the meeting room number 2 at the back of the booths. So thanks very much for your time.